Okay, what's going on, everybody? We are here. We are live. I want to thank you all for joining me today. I'm back live for the first time in what? I want to say it's been about 9 months since I've been live. And depending on how this live stream goes today, I'll probably disappear for another 9 months after the fact. Okay, depending on how this stream goes. But we're back. I'm back, and we'll see how everything moves forward. So if you can hear me clearly, please drop a one in the live chat. Then we can get things pushing and get things moving. As a matter of fact, I don't have to wait for the one. I can double check right now. And yep, my sound is great. Let's get into it. Let's get into it, everybody. Let's get into it. I see, look at the welcome backs are here. Volvo to love. I see my man 1010 Farms hitting the one like we used to do 9 months ago. Look at the ones are coming in just like we used to do. Yeah, just like we used to do. But let's get into it, man, because we got to get through this, because after this stream here, I have a members only live stream that we're going to jump into directly after the fact. So don't forget to become a channel member if you want to get into the members only live stream after this one. But let's get into Epstein, guys. Let's get into Epstein, because man, oh man, Democrats were dying for the Epstein files to be released, right? Release the Epstein files, release the Epstein files. You guys have no idea how much I've been trolled in the comment section, concerning Epstein files and releasing the Epstein files. People just trolling me like crazy. And now that, this stuff is starting to come out little by little, all of a sudden, Democrats are looking like they want to kind of change the subject now. Things aren't really going in their favor the way that they thought that it would. And one of the biggest things that occurred here, there's actually a lot. There's actually a lot. Democrats are too goofy, man. These guys are clowns. But, one of the biggest things and one of the biggest bombshells that came out of this, and a lot of you guys know about this already, is Democrat Representative Stacey Plaskett, I believe, if I remember correctly. She got caught in 4K. It's not just that the text messages came out between her and Epstein, but it's recorded in 4K. Stephanie, or I should say Stacey Plaskett, texting Epstein during a hearing before the House Oversight Committee that was featuring testimony from Michael Cohen, who is Donald Trump's former lawyer, now sworn enemy, right? She was texting Epstein, got caught in 4K, asking Epstein, what kind of questions should I ask Michael Cohen? And now all of a sudden, she's trying to make up excuses for why she was, so cordial and so friendly with a man who was so devious and demonic. And I want to get into this here because, oh my God, the excuses are rich. They are rich, ladies and gentlemen. Hakeem Jeffrey with the excuses, Plaskett with the excuses. Let's get into the first excuse here on CNN. This is rich.
I believe that Jeffrey Epstein had information, and I was going to get information to get at the truth. Having a friendship with him is not something that I would deem to have. And so I'm just looking forward. I'm moving forward. And I think that that's what we as American people should do, is move forward.
Oh, no. We're not moving forward now. I don't want to hear anything about moving forward now. There's still roughly about 30 seconds left of this clip, but now you want to move forward? Really? That's what you want to do now? Now you don't want to talk about the Epstein files anymore? Now that you got caught texting Epstein? While he was already on record for being a sex offender, right? Towards children. His jacket was already stained in terms of his violation towards women, right? Old and young. And she was texting back and forth with him like best buddies in the middle of a hearing, a congresswoman, no less. Now you don't want to talk about this anymore? Okay, find that interesting. Let's hear what else you had to say.
Is move forward. If individuals are not involved in illegal activity, extending his criminal enterprise or his financial enterprise or all of those things, I think that we need to look at what people are doing moving forward.
Wait, let me just better understand that. What is that point? Because at the time he was a known sex offender and it had been detailed all the sexual abuse.
There are a lot of people who have done a lot of crimes, and as a prosecutor, you get information from people where you can.
Oh my God, that was atrocious. She said, well, I mean, there's a lot of people who do a lot of crimes, and we just got to get the information where we can get it from. You know what I mean? That is atrocious. That woman should be ashamed of herself. Shame on this woman. And concerning Stacey Plaskett, because we're going to stay on her for a minute, there was an attempt to put shame on her, right? There definitely was an attempt to put shame on her. There was an attempt to censure her. I hate that word, by the way. That word sounds so dumb. Censure. Why can't you just say censor? Like, that's what you actually mean. But anyways, there was an attempt in the House to censure her, and it failed. And why did it fail? It failed because, man, at the end of the day, everybody's corrupt. Everybody's corrupt. Honestly, nobody's hands is really clean in all this. If we're being completely honest, check this out here. Let me pull this article up for you guys very quickly, and then we're going to move on to Hakeem Jeffries tap dancing around. Him kind of colluding to make sure that Stacey didn't get censured. Right? Check this article out. Let me pull this up for a minute. And while I'm pulling up, go ahead and smash that like button for me. I would genuinely appreciate if you do that. Okay, boom. Check this out here. Enraged House Republicans allege disgusting backroom deal to spare Democrat Stacey Plaskett. GOPer Corey Mills from censure, right? So let me just read the article. I'm about to start explaining what's in the article when I can just read it. So let's do that. So let's see how this reads out. Multiple House Republican lawmakers seethe Tuesday over a failed effort to censure Delegate Stacey Plaskett over her 2019 text exchange with late SEX predator Jeffrey Epstein, accusing leadership of cutting a backroom deal with Dems to spare Representative Corey Mills, right, who was a Republican out of Florida, from the same rebuke. Oh, man, nobody's hands are clean. Nobody's hands are clean. Nobody's hands are clean. So basically, how it went down is, listen, if you censure our girl, we're going to censure your guy. Now, as far as Corey Mills, is that his name again? Let me hop back over here. Corey Mills is concerned, a Republican. If I remember correctly from reading this, he doesn't have anything to do with Epstein like the Democrats do, right? Not like you guys. But, his hands are just dirty in other ways. And check this out. Republicans stuck together to beat back an initial effort to kill the censure resolution against Plaskett. However, the measure was rejected hours later, with 3 Republicans voting against punishing Plaskett, 3 more voting present, and 4 sitting out the vote entirely. I believe when you vote present, you're just basically saying here, like when you're in class and they would call your name and, TD, here, so you're just saying here, but like you're not voting. And then you have 4 that they didn't even show up. 4 Republicans were just like, hey, I'm out. I'm not even going to participate in this, which is crazy. Now, check this out. Had the censure resolution against Plaskett succeeded, Democrats plan to make a similar move against Mills, who has been accused of stolen valor, financial misconduct, and domestic abuse, all of which he denies. Well, I mean, if you didn't do it, bro, what's the problem? If you didn't do it, what's the issue, man? Oh man, everybody's so corrupt. Now, Anna Paulina Luna, as you can see here, right, Republican out of Florida, she was hot. She was big mad, as she should be. And this is what she had to say. I don't have the video queued up, but we can just read her direct quote. And then we're going to get into Hakeem Jeffries tap dancing around making this deal, right? So Anna Paulina Luna said this. The Plaskett censure failed because House leadership exchanged the vote to protect a Republican that's having a lot of issues and should not seek re-election. Representative Anna Paulina Luna fumed after the failed vote. Like I said, man, everybody's dirty, man. In some way, shape, form, or fashion, in one way or another, everybody's dirty. But you all know me. Nobody's as dirty as Democrats. That's why you guys don't want to talk about the Epstein files anymore, right? And I want to get into that next. Let's jump into Hakeem Jeffries. When he was confronted about making the backdoor deal or backroom deal, I guess it's called, right? And how he danced around it concerning this particular situation here. Check this out. Let's look at Timu Obama.
Stacey Plaskett after this controversy emerged?
I have not.
Can you confirm if there was a deal last night to sink the resolution against Congresswoman Plaskett in exchange for not bringing a censure resolution?
We've made clear repeatedly we're not going to unilaterally disarm.
So you're saying there was no deal?
I'm saying we will not unilaterally disarm. Not now, not ever.
Mr. Leader, why wouldn't you speak to Stacey Plaskett?
I said I haven't spoken to her since the censure resolution went down.
No, about this text controversy.
I have not spoken to her since the censure resolution went down.
Have you talked to her about this text controversy?
She and I have talked, and it's a private conversation that will remain private.
One thing's
Oh man, he looks so irritated, so annoyed because I mean, you guys just getting caught red-handed, being the hypocrites that you are. Being the hypocrites that you are. Oh, you wanted this stuff to come out so bad, and now it's flying in your face in the worst way. Can't even answer a simple yes or no question. Can't answer a simple yes or no question. You just do the typical political thing and you dance around in circles. Now, what I want to pull up next is this, right? Check this out, because Stacey Plaskett, you know, she tried to defend herself some more too on the House floor. And she just fumbled, man. This is just ridiculous. And once again, you have to remember that her little friendship is what I'll call it. Allegedly, I believe, I assume, right? You know, just for legal purposes. Her little friendship, I believe, I assume, you know, this comes off the fact that once again, Epstein, his jacket was already stained, right? Concerning all of the allegations, charges, convictions, all that occurred prior to him getting sent to prison and allegedly taking his own life. His jacket was stained already. Meanwhile, these two are texting like best buddies while she's in the middle of a hearing. And this is what she had to say to defend herself. Check this out here.
And I got a text from Jeffrey Epstein, who at the time was my constituent, who was not public knowledge at that time that he was under federal investigation, and who was sharing information with me. Now, I heard recently
that was a very long pause. Can we hear that one more time? First of all, she said, he is my constituent. What does that mean? I mean, there's serial killers that are your constituents too. Like, are you going to be texting with them for information, right? In the middle of a hearing? I don't think you'd be doing that. I don't think you'd be caught dead doing something like that, you know, but that pause was just gold. Let me hear that one more time.
And I got a text from Jeffrey Epstein, who at the time was my constituent, who was not public knowledge at that time that he was under federal investigation, and who was sharing information with me. Now, I heard recently.
Oh man, I'm just loving every minute of it. I'm just loving every minute of it. Yes, Timu Obama is screwed. I'm loving every minute of how this is all playing out and how this is going down, and you guys are loving it too. I see the laughing emojis. I see the oops. Man, I'm loving it, and so are you guys. Let's carry on though. What else do I have for you guys? Which is a lot. I have quite a bit. We're not done yet. Timu Obama. Let's get back to Timu Obama again. We're going to spend a lot of time on him. So he's really just fighting this fight to justify not censuring this woman. And the most important thing is, we're going to listen to this question that he's asked of, why should the people still trust Democrats on this issue? Why should they still trust you concerning the Epstein files? You guys are running off at the mouth, talking all that junk about release the files. And then soon as the files get released, you guys are in them, including Hakeem Jeffries. And we're going to get to that next, including Jeffries. But you guys are all in it. And I just want you to hear this response to the question when he was asked this. Check this out here.
Americans trust you and House Democrats on the Jeffrey Epstein files when one of your own, Congresswoman Plaskett, was found to be texting with Jeffrey Epstein during a hearing, getting information from him, using that in her questioning during a congressional hearing. And at one point, he tells her, "Good job."
This is a bipartisan effort to make sure that, consistent with what the survivors have requested, that there's full and complete transparency, and every single predator who may be in those Justice Department files doesn't escape accountability. Thanks.
He gave the most default answer possible. That was such an ugly and grotesque default answer. Jasmine got caught lying on CNN too. Yeah, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into Jasmine Crockett. She got caught lying about Epstein and Republicans and all that. So we're going to get there. Just hang in there with me and hit the like button if you haven't already. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. All right, please hit the subscribe button. And if you're enjoying this stream, finding it informative and entertaining to some degree, consider becoming a channel member, because right after this stream is over, we're going straight into the members only live stream. Okay, so go ahead and look out for me. If you're enjoying the show, become a channel member, and I'll see you guys over there once this stream is over. But let's carry on, right? What else do we have here? So we're still with Hakeem Jeffries. We're still on Hakeem Jeffries. And, you know, once again, Hakeem was in the files too, right? Hakeem was in the files too. And let me pull that article up for you guys very quickly. Check this out. Let me bring this video down and pull this article up. And let's come on over here. Boom. Oh, Timu Obama. Jeffrey Epstein was invited to Democrat fundraising dinner and to get to know Hakeem Jeffries by firm working with Brooklyn Barack. They called him Brooklyn Barack. That's what Timu Obama used to be called. His nickname used to be Brooklyn Barack. Yeah, Timu's a lot more fitting. Timu Obama's way more fitting than Brooklyn's Barack, because you're definitely not Brooklyn's Barack, man. You're definitely not that. But yeah, man, you know, they wanted to expose everything, and everything's being exposed because, yes, Timu Obama, formerly known as Brooklyn's Barack, he was in the files too, you know, in the text messages and emails and stuff that are coming out. He was in it. Check this out. House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer charged Tuesday that Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries' campaign solicited money from Jeffrey Epstein. They say, can you help us out? You know, this man's campaign, Timu Obama's kind of struggling. And we hear that you got a lot of money, Mr. Epstein. Please throw us a couple dollars. The Kentucky Republican, who was leading the oversight panel's investigation into Epstein, cited a 2013 email from a political consulting firm inviting the notorious PDF file to a Democratic Party dinner and to get to know Jeffries. You know, just get, you know, have a little, you know, alone time between the two. Let's get to know one another, right? Democrat fundraisers invited what? Democrat fundraisers invited Epstein to attend an event or meet privately with Hakeem Jeffries as part of their 2013 effort to win a majority, Comer said on the House floor. As we bring this article to a close, so Hakeem Jeffries' campaign solicited money from Jeffrey Epstein, he claimed. That's what we found in the last batch of documents. Oh, look at Timu Obama. Look at Timu Obama with all the salt all over his face. What a goofy, what a clown. And I love to see it. Don't you all love to see it? because I sure do. I sure do. Check this out here. This is what I want to get into next is, Hakeem Jeffries, he was asked about the email, right? He was asked about his friendship with Epstein. I believe, I assume, allegedly they had a friendship. Allegedly, that is, allegedly. He was asked about it on CNN. And this is what he had to say. So let's jump into that next. But first and foremost, thank you very much. My man, Untried Genius. You changed your profile picture. Shout out to my man, Untried Genius, who said it's been so long. I thought it was a premiere. Nope, I'm back live again, at least for now. I'm probably going to disappear for another 9 months, but I'm back live now. So let's jump into Timo Obama and some of his excuses concerning his friendship, I assume, with Jeffrey Epstein.
Well, let me ask you about you, because the White House has been highlighting an email that I'm sure you've seen today that Jeffrey Epstein got in 2013. They say it shows you were soliciting money and dinner from an Epstein. The email was not sent from you. It was sent from a political consulting firm called Dynamic SRG that says, "We are thrilled to announce we are working with Congressman Hakeem Jeffries. Shoot us an email or give us a call if you would like to get involved." What's your response? Do you recall that email being sent to Jeffrey Epstein from that team?
Yeah, of course, I have no recollection of the email. I've never had a conversation with him, never met him, know nothing about him other than the extreme things that he's been convicted of doing. And that's why, I'm just strongly supportive of the effort, backing the survivors to make sure that everything can come out, whatever is in those Department of Justice files.
So you never got a donation from Jeffrey Epstein or anything like that?
Certainly not.
And just...
But I'm sure you got a donation or two from Diddy. As Ross Mickens said, Jeffries hung out with P. Diddy too. Dems dig deep enough, they find themselves. Shout out to Eric Trump. Oh my God. That's just prophetic what Eric Trump when he said that. I wish I had that video queued up. I actually looked for it before the stream. It's on my laptop somewhere, but it's lost. I didn't label it properly. But man, when Eric Trump said that about the Democrats, they're always digging for dirt on my father, Trump, right? Digging for dirt on MAGA. And they always end up digging so deep that they find themselves, man. That's just a great quote by Eric Trump. A great quote, man. Let's get into this next, though, right? Because we're not done with Timo Obama. We're not done with Timo Obama at all, ladies and gentlemen. I want to play this clip next. And this is really funny because he's telling on himself here, man. He's going to be questioned on whether or not he had dinner, with Jeffrey Epstein, and whether or not they were friends and they got to know each other, whether or not they had, intimate time together, not in that way, but, just like getting to know one another, not like that. Right. And this is what Timo Obama had to say. And I'll just ask you guys this, and you guys let me know in a live chat. And if you're watching the replay in the comment section below, when he's asked about whether or not they had dinner together and got to know one another, do you think that Hakeem Jeffries is going to deny any of it, or is he just going to talk around it? I'll let you guys answer that in the comment section below. Let's get into this video clip next.
Chairman Comer said yesterday on the floor that you had Jeffrey Epstein over for dinner and took money from him back in 2013. This was after he was on the sex offender list. Any comment on that? And will you be holding members accountable regardless of party affiliation if there were any misdeeds related to the Epstein files?
Was that a serious question or a serious statement from malignant clown James Comer, that I had Jeffrey Epstein over for dinner, that I accepted money from Jeffrey Epstein? What's extraordinary to me about the clown show on the other side of the aisle is that they lie with impunity on things that are objectively verifiable. And why do they do that? It's because for months, Republicans have been burying the Jeffrey Epstein files. Not Democrats. Our view continues to be the same. We want to make sure that what the survivors have asked for, which is full and complete transparency in order to bring about accountability, actually happens. And Congress decisively and in a bipartisan way acted yesterday with respect to the release of the Jeffrey Epstein files. That's a victory for the survivors and a victory for the American people. And Donald Trump needs to sign that bill into law expeditiously.
He thinks he's TI. He said expeditiously. So why couldn't you just say no? That's not true. I don't know that man. I never had dinner with him. He's never been to my house. We've never talked. I don't know him. It's very easy to just say, no, that's not true. Before you get into name calling. Name calling is cool. It has its place. I mean, you're Timu Obama, right? Has its place. But before I get into the name calling, I'm going to say absolutely not. That is a lie that I had dinner with this man and I got to know him and we talked and things of that nature. It's a lie. That's not true. Comer is lying. But he didn't say any of that. He didn't say that at all. He just went straight into straight into name calling and talking in circles. And that really says all that you need to know about Jeffries, right? And his connection to Epstein is quite pathetic, actually, you know, because you guys are telling on yourself. And man, from my understanding, from what I saw, Trump did sign, what is it called? The Release the Epstein Files Act or something like that, whatever they call it. So we're going to find out, you know, we're definitely going to find out. Democrats are effing around and finding out that, you know, you're going to regret that these files get released because you're going to see all these text messages, all these emails, fancy dinners. These guys right here, them with Epstein. Now what I want to do next, you know, because I definitely saved the best for last. Definitely saved the best for last. Jasmine Crockett. Oh my God. It should be a crime to be this dumb. It really should be. It really should be a crime to be as dumb as she is, because this is crazy. So in the midst of all this going on, what we're discussing, she gets up onto the House floor and starts talking about some. It says we're gonna talk about this. You know why don't we talk about the Republicans who got money from Jeffrey Epstein? And she began to list off Republicans who got campaign funds from Jeffrey Epstein. The only problem is, as you're going to see, is that it's the wrong Jeffrey Epstein. Lord have mercy. It is a crime. It should be criminal to be this stupid. Let's get into this clip next as we're bringing this stream to a close, man. Look at this here. Oh my God, this woman is dumb.
Folks who also took money from somebody named Jeffrey Epstein, as I had my team dig in very quickly. Mitt Romney, the NRCC, Lee Zeldin, George Bush, Win Red, McCain Palin, Rick Lazio. I just want to be clear. If this is the standard that we're going to make, just know we're going to expose it all. And just know that the FEC filings, they are available for everybody to review. This is absolutely ridiculous.
Oh my God. She said the FEC filings, you know, they're available to everybody. Shout out. I can't say that name. That's a wild username. That's a wild username, but thank you very much. Said I got time to tarry for Jasmine Ratchet. That username is crazy, bro. That's a crazy username. Oh my God, that kind of threw me off my square a little bit. Wait a minute. Let me bring things back. Bring things back in. Can I take a sip of my coffee real quick? Please hit the like button while I'm taking a sip of my coffee. My man threw me all the way off with that one. Lord have mercy. Okay, so where were we? Right? Okay, I know where I'm going with this now. I remember where I'm going with this. So let's get into the fact, right? Let's get into the fact that she's a bold-faced liar. She's a bold-faced liar. And she's just dumb because she said she had her team do a quick search And, you know, what they didn't do, as she's sitting here pounding her chest, talking about the, you know, the FEC files are public. We're going to find out. No, we found out that you're a liar. Look at this here. Pull this down and pull this up. Give me a second. Timur Obama. Boom. Look at this from Jonathan Turley. Representative Jasmine Crockett, Democrat from Texas, actually attacked EPA head Lee Zeldin for receiving money from one Jeffrey Epstein. The problem was that it was a different Jeffrey Epstein, a New York doctor, right? Now, speaking of the FEC files, as you can see here, we have the FEC files that are public. We have it right here, you know, concerning Mr. Zeldin. And as you can see, yes, Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, Mr. Jeffrey M. Epstein from New York. And then we have this one here from PA, that's Pennsylvania, I'm assuming, obviously, right? All of this, 2005, 2006, 2008, 2012. And then without the doctor, you know, minus the doctor or Mr., you see just Jeffrey Epstein right here. The only problem is that, you know, these donations and contributions came in on February 7th of 2020, as well as, what is that, March 24th of 2020 and August 31st of 2020. Yeah, by that time, you know, the Jeffrey Epstein, you're right, the violator of women and children, he was already, he was in the dirt. He committed, I don't want to say that word on YouTube, but, you know, he took himself out of here already, allegedly. You know, he might be on some other, you know, he might be somewhere with Tupac, you know, on an island somewhere, as far as we really know. But, you know, we'll just go with the official story. He took himself out. Okay. So I don't know how Jeffrey Epstein was making donations to Zeldin in 2020 when he was already gone, dead and buried, allegedly. Right. Allegedly. And look at this here, because she said, what did she say? McCain Palin and Meghan McCain, right? The daughter of John McCain came out and said, my dad has been dead 7 years, Crockett. He never met Jeffrey Epstein, let alone took money from him. The Jeffrey Epstein you are referencing is an entirely different human being. Do you have mashed potatoes for brains? You absolute joke. And I mean, by the look of this picture here, she just might have mashed potatoes for brains. Let me zoom in a little bit. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Please do that while I zoom in. Yeah, I don't know. She just might have mashed potatoes for brains, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like she just might have mashed potatoes for brains. Ross Mickens said, we need you with Danielle Carter Walters, TD. You know, in due time, Ross, in due time. Trust me when I say in due time. But let's focus on mashed potatoes for brains first. Let's take a little time to focus on mashed potatoes for brains. Okay. Now, what's even more funny about this? You know what? Before I get into her excuse, right? Because she was on CNN and they asked her, like, hey, you know, you're dumb. This is a whole nother Jeffrey Epstein, a doctor from New York, right? So what happened? Before we get into her excuses, because I'm a mean person and I just feel like torturing you guys, I want to take a moment to just play nails on a chalkboard. What do I mean by nails on a chalkboard? Just Jasmine Crockett nonsense concerning Jeffrey Epstein. You know, let's listen to this very quickly. I don't have to play this. I could just kind of seamlessly move things along. Well, like I said, I just want to take a moment to torture you guys really quick with mashed potatoes for brains. So let's check this video out here, and then we're going to bring this video to a close.
About 2 months because we couldn't talk about Jeffrey Epstein. And now
let me start it over from the beginning. Oh my God, this is loud too.
We were gone for about 2 months because we couldn't talk about Jeffrey Epstein. And now everybody wants to act as if they want to have like a real honest conversation about the victims and the survivors and everybody else. Where was this conversation a long time ago? And I know that y'all love to go back and say that Joe Biden didn't do it. You know, Joe Biden is blamed for everything. Joe Biden didn't do anything and it was Joe Biden's fault. And why wasn't Joe Biden? Joe Biden didn't campaign on it. I just want to be clear. If y'all can run me the tape, then run me the tape. But you know, when you campaign and you go out and you make a promise, then we evaluate whether or not you actually meet your promises. So listen, this was rope that y'all decided to hang yourselves with because the president campaigned on the Epstein files while we were campaigning on things such as affordability.
Okay, so number one, she's dumb. Right? If you're paying attention, she stuck her foot in her mouth. I'm not going to play this again. But she was saying, you know, everybody, y'all pretended to care so much about the victims and stuff like this now. How come y'all didn't care about this a long time ago? Dummy. You said you stuck your foot in your mouth? Well, a long time ago. Yeah, like the last 4 years of Biden. Like it's Democrats that are pretending to care so much and are pushing harder than Republicans, you know, for this stuff to come out. So yeah, a long time ago, the last 4 years that you know, Biden and Harris were in charge, why didn't you guys do it? So then she had to clean it up. Yeah, you know, and you know, and I know y'all gonna bring up Biden. I know y'all gonna bring up Biden, you know, because y'all just blame Biden for everything. Just shut up. You know what I'm saying? Just shut up. All right. Just stop talking already. And look at her face. Mashed potatoes for brains, ladies and gentlemen. Mashed potatoes for brains. Godly, this woman's annoying. Now, what I want to do in closing, that looks so bootleg. Let me fix this up. Okay, that looks better. Is let's get into the excuse making, right? Let's bring it back to when she lied on all those Republicans saying he took money from Jeffrey Epstein and he took money from Jeffrey Epstein and they took money from Jeffrey Epstein. You know, what I want to do next is that I want to pull up the excuse that she made. And I haven't watched this yet, you know, so we're all going to see it for the first time together. But from what I'm hearing, it's entertaining. Whatever excuse she's going to come up with is very, very, very entertaining. So while I pull that video up right now, please smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, please, you know, consider subscribing, right? Hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. And also, once again, become a channel member if you're not already. I see a couple, you know, we got some channel members that are already in the building, right? Already here. Become a channel member if you're appreciating this stream, you're entertained by it, and finding it informative, because once this stream is over, we're headed straight into the members live only stream. Okay, so let's get into this with Jasmine Crockett next.
Republicans taking money from.
Let's take it from the top because this is supposed to be pretty good. All right, so ready and action.
You talked about Republicans taking money from a Jeffrey Epstein. Here's what you said.
Who also took money from somebody named Jeffrey Epstein, as I had my team dig in very quickly. Mitt Romney, the NRCC, Lee Zeldin, George Bush, Win Red, McCain Palin, Rick Lazio.
You mentioned Lee Zeldin there. He's now a cabinet secretary. He responded and said it was actually Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, who's a doctor that doesn't have any relation to the convicted sex trafficker. Unfortunate for that doctor, but that is who donated to a prior campaign of his. Do you want to correct the record on the people that?
Listen, I never said that it was that Jeffrey Epstein. Just so that people understand, when you make a donation, your picture is not there. And because they decided to spring this on us in real time, I wanted the Republicans to think about what could potentially happen, because I knew that they didn't even try to go through the FEC. So my team, what they did is they Googled. And that is specifically why I said a Jeffrey Epstein. Unlike Republicans, I at least don't go out and just tell lies. Because it was not the same one, that's fine. But when Lee Zeldin had something to say, all he had to say was,
what is she talking about? Oh my God, this is horrible. My team did a Google search. You Google, yeah. I mean, I'm all for the Google searches. You know, I'm big on the Google searches, you know, but these are also the same people that, you know, they'll call somebody like me a Google scholar, but then when they get caught Googling, now all of a sudden it was all part of her master plan. It was all part of the master plan. You know, we threw in the fake Jeffrey Epstein on purpose. You know, the Jedi mind tricks, right? That's a little, what do you call that? Tricknology. You know, that's that tricknology, ladies and gentlemen. That's tricknology. Let's take it from the top. I'm not going to interrupt it. Oh my God, the spin is out of control. The spin is out of control with this one. Man, tricknology going heavy. Let's take it from the top.
You talked about Republicans taking money from a Jeffrey Epstein. Here's what you said.
Who also took money from somebody named Jeffrey Epstein, as I had my team dig in very quickly. Mitt Romney, the NRCC, Lee Zeldin, George Bush, Win Red, McCain Palin, Rick Lazio.
You mentioned Lee Zeldin there. He's now a cabinet secretary. He responded and said it was actually Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, who's a doctor that doesn't have any relation to the convicted sex trafficker. Unfortunate for that doctor, but that is who donated to a prior campaign of his. Do you want to correct the record on the people that you
Listen, I never said that it was that Jeffrey Epstein. Just so that people understand, when you make a donation, your picture is not there. And because they decided to spring this on us in real time, I wanted the Republicans to think about what could potentially happen, because I knew that they didn't even try to go through the FEC. So my team, what they did is they Googled. And that is specifically why I said a Jeffrey Epstein. Unlike Republicans, I at least don't go out and just tell lies. Because it was not the same one, that's fine. But when Lee Zeldin had something to say, all he had to say was it was a different Jeffrey Epstein. He admitted that he did receive donations from a Jeffrey Epstein, so at least I wasn't trying to mislead people. Now,
I can't do it. I tried to not interrupt it. Oh my God. Oh my God. What? This is insanity. The spin is on 10,000. It's over 10,000. It's over 100,000. What is going on? Ross Mickens said, pin the tail on the donkey, Jasmine Crockett. Oh my God. My man with the greatest username of all time that I'm not going to say. You killing me. I appreciate you though. C of C's. I appreciate you. Oh my God. This is out of control. I didn't want to interrupt it. She's not done yet. She's not done yet. My man, username is over 1 million. Golly. You want it back just a little bit. This is nuts.
Not the same one, that's fine. But when Lee Zeldin had something to say, all he had to say was it was a different Jeffrey Epstein. He admitted that he did receive donations from a Jeffrey Epstein, so at least I wasn't trying to mislead people. Now, have I dug in to find out who this doctor is? I have not. So I will trust and take what he says, is that it wasn't that Jeffrey Epstein, but I was not attempting to mislead anybody. I literally had maybe 20 minutes before I had to do that debate.
Yeah, but people might see that and say, well, you're trying to make it sound like he took money from
I did not know.
A registered sex offender.
No, but I literally did not know. When you search FEC files, and that's what I had my team to do, I texted them and I said, listen, we're going up. They are saying that she took donations.
Right, but someone might say, well, your team should have done the homework to make sure it wasn't the convicted sex trafficker.
Within 20 minutes, you could not find that out, not from just doing a quick search on FEC. So, number one, I made sure that I was clear that it was a Jeffrey Epstein, but I never said that it was specifically that Jeffrey Epstein, because I knew that we would need more time to really dig in.
This is the dumbest person of all time, ladies and gentlemen. This is without a shadow of a doubt. I've struggled with who's like, you know, dumber, right? Kamala Harris, Jasmine Crockett, or the Emperor of the People's Republic of Chicago, Brandon Johnson. It's always been kind of obvious that it was Kamala Harris, but this right here takes the cake. It really does. It really does. And you know what? As a matter of fact, I don't have time for a poll. I'm going to put a poll in a community tab though later. All right, I'm going to put a poll in a community tab. But I'm I'm going to have to go with Jasmine Crockett. I'm going to have to go to Jasmine Crockett because I even Kamala Harris, I didn't see her fumble. Did she fumble badly? Every time she opens her mouth, it's a fumble. But it was just more of a issue where she just couldn't articulate herself. You know what I mean? She just couldn't articulate herself. But to lie this bad and then to spin it to the degree that you're trying to spin it to now, as if you were just doing a Jedi mind trick, you know? Yeah. You take you might take the cake. It might be you. But to be quite honest with you, as we bring this stream to a close, a joy for life. It's funny you brought up AOC. I'm glad you brought her to mind because I actually think that she might be the dumbest one. And the reason that I say that is because if you guys notice, they don't even put AOC on TV. She's never talking to the news ever. She doesn't talk to anyone. She only does her little live stream. She does her little live streams on Instagram, right? And then if she's not doing a live stream on Instagram, you know, then she's on her Fight the Oligarchy tour as her and Bernie Sanders are, you know, being the oligarchy themselves, flying on private jets, going across the country. But you never see her speaking. And the last time she spoke to a news outlet, which was CNN, where she did a town hall with Bernie Sanders, she failed miserably. And if you watched that town hall or even saw the clips of it, Bernie Sanders had to jump in and bail her out so many times. Like, it was bad. It was really bad. So, man, AOC, Kamala Harris, Jasmine Crockett, or the Emperor of the People's Republic of Chicago, Brandon Johnson. Who's dumber? I'll let you guys ponder on that as I bring this stream to a close. So thank you. LeBron carried a purse. I appreciate you. And I appreciate all you guys for joining me today. Please hit that like button on your way out. If you want to be become a channel member. If you appreciate the content that I provided for you today, because right now I'm getting ready to jump straight into the members only live stream that is coming up next. So for all you channel members, if you're having a hard time finding the members stream, which you shouldn't, it should be on the homepage. Once this stream is over, just refresh the homepage. If you don't see it on the homepage, it's in the members only tab. If you don't see it in the members only tab for some reason, it's in the community post. I posted the link in the community post as well. So we're going to hop over to the members only live stream next because I got a few things that I want to talk about over there. Thank you guys for joining me. Smash the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Share this video on your social media platforms, and I will catch you guys in the member only stream next. Shout out to Kimmy Sue. Kimmy Sue, I'm going to see you in about 120 seconds. So I'll catch you guys soon. Peace.